3 years ago, I made this Powerpuff Girls game on Roblox. Recently, I saw this Homelanders game blowing up on TikTok, and it got me wondering, could AI help me rebuild one of my old games in just 24 hours? Now, I haven't even played the Homelanders game, but the idea sounded fun, so I decided to test it on one of my own projects. The game was pretty simple. You spawn into a lobby, wait for a round to start, and then try to survive. That's basically it, and you're not supposed to die, of course. Looking back at it now though, these models were kind of rough, like I don't even know what I was cooking up back then. And the UI, it was very simple, I didn't even try. I think I did this like in 5 minutes at the time. It's time for a revamp. While I was live, I had you guys helping me out. We started figuring out what actually needed to be changed, and after deciding which characters were getting remodeled, I jumped straight into Blender and got to work. I got this reference from ChatGPT, and basically I had to revamp these old characters. To be fair, I probably would have kept the original if I knew the rig wasn't completely messed up. So I started with the head and slowly built the character live with you guys. Once Bubbles was finished, the other two were actually pretty easy since most of the models stayed the same besides the hair. After all 3 characters were done, it was time to rig them. I only rigged one of them because I could just duplicate the rig and move them to the others. At this point, we're basically 36 minutes in, and honestly, we already got a lot done. After making sure the rig exported correctly, I imported the character into the game. It wasn't too bad. It could have been more detailed, of course, but I still wasn't sure if AI was going to even build the game correctly. After that, I pretty much threw together a simple walk animation and an idle animation so the character won't just look stiff walking around like a statue. Usually I have somebody helping me with the animations, but during the stream they weren't available at this time, so after about 5 minutes, here's what I ended up with. Now, while I was working with all of that, I was live the entire time, and let me explain what I have my AI and chat work on. I told the AI to use my new character to completely revamp the game around it. At the same time, I had a bunch of you guys kept asking me to help, so I invited 2 viewers to join the project. We had Moon and Bruce. I gave them both 1 hour to build me a lobby and a map for this game. And of course, I wasn't just sitting around watching while they were building. I jumped back into Blender and started making a simple house as well to fill up the map. And let me tell you, these 2 got straight to work. The map slowly started coming together, and at the same time I was testing the game for bugs. The character would spawn in, but then immediately run into the wall. Bro wasn't even smart enough to shoot anymore. And he definitely wasn't smart enough to walk around the obstacle. I literally had to walk around the wall myself just to get her unstuck. And don't even get me started on the lasers. They looked way better than when we first started, but they still couldn't even hit me. Like I was standing right next to Bubbles, bro. Meanwhile, the map was actually looking pretty good. They added a giant statue of the character right in the middle of the lobby, set up a leaderboard for me, and honestly, it was starting to feel like a real game again instead of a broken project from 3 years ago. After about 5 hours, this is what we had so far. A semi-working game. The lobby was built, both maps were finished, and I had the AI setting up most of the systems for me, but there was one problem. The NPC was still kind of dumb. Like, as you guys can see, it's shooting at me, but it can't shoot through buildings, it can't walk around obstacles, and was basically having the same issues we were dealing with earlier. The shops wasn't working, buttons were still showing during the round, and honestly the whole game was being held together by a piece of string. Like, eventually, after a lot of testing, we finally got the AI moving a little better. It still wasn't shooting through walls, but at least when you survived a round, your stats would actually show up now. Okay. So the NPC finally has the courage to cross the street, guys. Like, okay, never mind. One thing I did manage to fix was the building destruction. So now it could actually break through walls instead of just staring at them for 20 minutes. And there we go, it could finally cross the road. After 30 minutes, bro. The AI was still too easy though. It kept getting lost. It spent way too much time trying to break the building when it could easily just walk through the door or walk around to get to me. So after another 2 hours, I decided it was time for a new prompt. I told Claude to stop playing around and to ramp up things when scripting. After that update, we got intermissions, the UI buttons disappeared during rounds, players could still collect coins actually, and the game was starting to feel more completed. Although the NPC randomly had his name floating above his head, which I didn't tell them to add, but we're here now. It was destroying all the walls way faster now, but it still took forever to reach the players. I could be hiding on the other side of the map and it will still be trying to figure out where I'm at or where I went. After a few more updates though, it started keeping up with me. I even added a feature where it got stuck for too long. It did a giant burst of, beams to destroy every building around it. The shop got another revamp. The lobby got cleaned up and yeah, the leaderboard is finally working correctly. So while the AI was still coding, I decided to finish the other characters. So after rigging them, I exported everything into Roblox and moved them into my workspace. And this is my favorite part, coloring. A little while later, all 3 characters were finally in the game. Nothing crazy, but they worked. And since I wasn't about to animate 3 characters separately, they all shared the same animations. And at this point, we're about 6 hours in. The NPC was definitely improving. It was destroying more blocks, chasing players better, and generally causing more chaos. But yeah, the coin still didn't work though. And for some reason, the NPC had another bug where it walked right up to you and then just stand there staring at you instead of attacking. So naturally, there were more bugs to fix. And around the 7-hour mark, I changed some of the lighting of the game and made the map darker. During the stream, a bunch of you guys suggested adding a mode where players could become the seeker instead of just running from it. So we added it, and honestly, I didn't expect it to work at all. The first time somebody became a character, they were completely stuck in a T-pose and couldn't move. We added the NPCs into the game anyways, hoping something would magically fix it itself, Turns out the only way to move was by hitting spectate mode first. Then you could move, but you were still stuck in a T-pose, and yet you couldn't shoot still. And at one point, I literally spotted somebody hiding in a tree while this was happening. So I forgot to record this part, but once we hit the 10-hour mark, the game was finally starting to work. You could move around, shoot lasers, destroy buildings, and actually play the game without everything breaking in every 5 seconds. The character was still sliding over the place though. One thing you guys kept asking for was a way to make players easier to spot while hunting them. So I added a highlight system. We also had the AI revamp the UI so everything could match a lot better. After another 30 minutes of bug fixing, chat came up with another idea. Instead of dashing, what if the character could fly? So we turned it into its own mode, and honestly, it was actually pretty fun. Flying around as the hunter felt way better than I expected and made chasing players way more interesting. More like that Homelander game when I kept seeing on TikTok. Then one of my players decided to test the limits of the game and immediately started causing chaos. But at this point, the game was finally getting fun. So we added a night vision mode to the seekers so at nighttime you guys can actually see, and instead of just one tapping the buildings, they slowly decay over time. After that, I added character selection so you guys can choose which Powerpuff Girls you want to play as. Then someone in chat suggested adding a static effect whenever the hunters are nearby. So I added that too. And now, whenever the seeker got close, the screen would start shaking and filling with static, which honestly made the whole thing feel way more intense than I expected. Overall, this was a fun project and I appreciate everyone who helped out. We built this live in 24 hours and I'm looking to do this again every Thursday while helping you guys with your games. I'm excited because next week's video is going to be fire. Thanks for watching. See you guys next time. Bye bye.